What's up, guys? This is Joe with Schematic Solutions, and we are going to dive right back into the journal. So, where we left off last was we updated our actual journal. Now, keep in mind, I have added all this information, so if you haven't, you'll definitely want to add at least a little bit of information. Make sure all of the categories are correct, and based off of a couple formulas, some of these have to be exactly how I personally typed it out, more so these three over here. So just keep that in mind, and yeah, let's get into it. So we have our dashboard, but before we even get into the dashboard, there's a few things that we're going to start adding to our list variables, and you don't have to put them exactly where I'm telling you to, but it will make the process of following along a lot easier. Just keep in mind, we are going to be using these in our formulas. So let's say you put this, instead of Y1, you put this at A1. Then ultimately, you'll just have to change up the formulas and put, instead of Y, you'll put A, instead of Z, you'll put B. Pretty much, that's all you're gonna have to do. But ultimately, what you could do is type in this formula, journal H1, or if you don't want to type it in, you can select up here, type in equals, select journal, and select H1, and that's going to be our direction. That's just telling us, okay, give us our direction here, give us whatever's in our journal H1 right here, and it's doing it. And copy and paste that 3 more times. Now you're going to do the same exact thing with the win-loss. So you'll type in equals, journal, well, you'll select journal and select N1, and that will give you what N1 says inside of journal, and that's going to be win/loss. And you will once again copy and paste how you see, and then you'll just type in long, long, short, short. You'll type in win, loss, win, loss. Now you'll be able to see this is going to help give us a formula to distinguish between our short wins and our short losses, and vice versa, our long wins and our long losses. And then you'll want to skip 2 spaces, type in %profit, or if your journal does say profit %, you can type that in, but for the purposes of making this easier for everybody to follow along, just type in %profit, %loss, risk reward. Then you'll type in greater than 0, less than 0, and greater than 0. Perfect. So we have our list variables. Now we can ultimately dive into our dashboard. So you'll want to start off by typing all of these out. I just did it ahead of time to make this video quicker. As you guys know, I don't really edit my videos, so save you guys some time of having to watch me type things out. But ultimately, you can pause it at any point and fill this out. Once you do have it filled out, just keep in mind you may want to have them in the exact spots that I do. You don't have to, but once again, it will make it easier to follow along. So now we're going to be getting into the actual formulas. Our equity invested, we can get this by typing in equals, going to account transactions, and selecting E40, and enter. That's going to give us our equity, our money that we have actually invested. Now, we want to know our current equity. So we're going to get this by doing 2 things. First, what we're going to have to do is we want to come to our balance make sure that we've dragged our balance all the way down. I personally dragged mine down to 1,000. Just want you guys to be able to see it. So we're getting pretty close. Boom. So 1,000, dragged it down to 1,000. Now on 1,001, what I did was I simply said, okay, 1,001 will equal what cell 1,000 is. So keep in mind we put in these formulas last time, and all we did was we just dragged it straight down, and it's going to pretty much edit the formulas to ultimately move down each category. So you could see 999, 998, 997. So you guys get what I'm saying. So ultimately, this last one doesn't or shouldn't be like that. It will actually throw off our formula, and all we want it to do is be what this one is. So now once we have that, we're going to go back to our dashboard, and we're going to ask us, okay, where or what is our current equity? And we're going to put equals, and we're going to go to our journal, Y1001. That is our current equity. So now return on equity. This is pretty easy. We can do a simple sum formula, and what we're going to sum will be in our journal. Once again, we're going to sum O1001 and P1001. Sorry. Perfect, like so. Close the parentheses. Now keep in mind, there is something we're going to have to do here in our journal for O and P, because I don't think I got around to it last time. It's once again a simple sum formula. You'll come all the way down to O 1001, and you'll type in equals sum of O2. You'll put the colon and drag that all the way down to O1000, and you'll do the same exact thing for P. Now what that's doing, it's adding all of the wins and losses, the profit and losses that you've taken from your trades, and it's showing you a total of it. So now when we add up these, it gives us our total return on our equity so far. Now, last but not least, for the first little part of this, we are going to end this off with this simple little division, or division formula. So we want to know the total profit loss percentage. So whatever our return on our equity is ultimately. So we'll do D9 divided by D5. Boom. Pretty simple. Pretty simple, pretty simple, pretty simple. Now, if for some reason your numbers aren't popping up as dollar signs and percentages, all you have to do is come in. For me, on my Mac, I press Command 1. Once I press that Command 1, I get this pop-up, and it looks like you guys can't see it. So I get the pop-up to actually be able to format. I believe another way I can do it to show you guys would be, you can right click and format, and then you'll just go into currency and make sure it's a dollar sign. So getting on to total trades. Getting on to our total trades. So we're going to start off, what order do we want this in? So we'll put the actual number of trades, the percentage, so this will be 100%. The number of these trades, how many trades this will be M5 plus MQ, or sorry, Q5. Wow. So far we have 0 trades because these are not filled out yet. So as we get over into our winning trades, this is a simple Countif formula, and we're going to equals Countif, and this is going to be our journal, and we're going to go to N. So we'll go to N2, and I don't feel like dragging this all the way down. I'll just type it in through N101. Now we only want this account if this says win. And we want to close the parentheses. Boom. So we have 6 winning trades. Now for our losing trades, we could actually pretty much do the same thing. So what we're going to do is just copy and paste. Would you guys be able to guess what's going to change? Instead of win, we'll put loss. Pretty simple. And once we get to this point, I actually want to show you guys how one mistake, one misplacing of a letter, whatever the case may be, can actually throw off a whole formula, how sensitive these formulas actually are. But perfect. We have almost our first row done. Almost. Now, this will be our percentage, just how we have for our total trades. Obviously our total trades will be 100% of our trades. This isn't going to be 100% of our trades. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to type in equals, and we'll type in M5 divided by I5, and that will give us a decimal. And ultimately I'm going to press Command 1. I'm going to go into percentage, 2 decimal places, boom, 33%. Now we could just copy and paste, but there's really no point, because what we're going to do is we're going to do Q5 divided by I5. Pretty simple. And once again, we want to format. If you'd like, you can right click, go to format cells, go to percentage. You can select how many decimal places you'd like, and boom, we are done with our first row. Now let's knock out the second row. Once again, our first formula will be a Countif formula. So we're going to type in equals Countif, alright, so what do we want to Countif? We're going to Countif, we're going to go to our journal, we'll go to H2, through, I don't want to scroll all the way down, so I'll just type it out, H1001. Now, I believe this is for long, correct? we only want this to count if this says long. And if this is wrong, I'll just change it. No worries. And I forgot to close parentheses, but it did it for me. Perfect. So yes, long trades. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And since we're already here, we might as well do our shorts because it's going to be the exact same. Just changing one little piece. And that's going to be short. So now it's counting our long trades and our short trades. We could figure out the percentage, and that would be I7 divided by our total trades. And same thing for here, equals I9 divided by our total trades. Perfect. So I'll select both of these by pressing one and holding Option and Command on my Mac. Why did I just Command copy? Command 1, so I can format these into percentages. Perfect. So we have 55% of our trades are longs, 44% are shorts. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. So we want to understand winning long trades. Winning long trades. So we're going to type in a slightly different formula, but this is where our first list variables are going to come in to use. We'll then update our list variables in a later video for our actual journal. But equals D count A. I have no idea why I've been typing in so many N's. D count A. Now, what do we want to count? We want to count our journal A1 through R1001. I could scroll all the way down and do it, but just to save us some time, I'm just going to type it out. Now, from what field do we want this to count? And it's going to be our direction. Journal H1. We'll select list variables. So make sure to put that comma in between after journal H1. I don't think it'll automatically do it, but once we're here, we are going to be looking at Y and Z. So we'll select Y1, hold Shift, and select Z2, which will select all four. You can then hit enter, close the parentheses, do whatever you want, but then it will count how many winning long trades we have. And the formula actually, or I guess not necessarily the formula, but how we put this in actually gets a lot easier, because instead of typing all that out, we're just going to copy and paste. So copy, we'll go to winning short trades. And the only thing that needs to change is where we're pulling our list variables. So we'll delete. Okay, we are on winning short trades, so we're going to go into list variables. Winning short. Y7 to Z8. So winning short trades is what we want to count. Boom. Once again, we can copy and paste. And instead of actually going and selecting it, I'm going to make it just a little easier myself. I'm just going to type it in because I've written it down real quick. So our losing long trades will be in Y5, Y4 and Z5. And let's actually just go and make sure. Losing long trades. Losing long. Y4, Z5. Perfect. And last but not least, we have our losing short trades, which are Y10, Z11. And we will quickly run through these formulas. We'll knock out the winning trades first, and it's just simple division. So we'll do our M7 divided by total trades. We'll do equals M9 divided by our total trades equals Q7 divided by our total trades equals Q9 divided by our total trades. Obviously, we're definitely going to want to format these, so I'm holding Option and Command on my Mac and selecting all of these, right-clicking, going to Format Cells, and going to turn these into a percentage. But it looks like it's going to, perfect. Okay, so we're almost through. We have a few more, so let's get into our actual average profitable trade. Now, this is going to be pretty simple. We're going to equals J14 times D5. So for now, it's going to be 0. And we're going to do the same thing here. Equals J16 times D5. For our average trade, we're going to do equals J14 plus J16, close the parentheses and divide it by 2. And that will give us our average trade. Now, let's start working on the percentages. So this is where we're going to actually get the average, and we can type in D average journal. Now, if you were to select this one, hold Command, press the down arrow twice, it's going to take you all the way down. So this is the number I'm going to use, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put journal 1 colon to this number. We're going to put a comma, Let's get ourselves all the way back up. Comma, journal W1. Because why? We're looking for our profitable trade, right? Our average profitable. So this is going to be a percentage. We will then need to go to our list variables, and this is where we're going to select AC, hold shift, and enter. So just to review this, the formula is the average journal 1:1048576 comma journal W1 list variables AC1 AC2. So we're going to make this a lot easier for us by copying and pasting this. We need to change a few things though. So instead of our profit percentage, we want this to be our loss percentage. So instead of W, we will change this to X. And instead of AC, we should have this as AD. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Just had to copy and paste this real quick. Nice. So now that we have that, we can see the formulas are all popping up. Now let me show you guys something. If we change this from percent profit to profit percentage, whether we put a space or not, we will receive errors. So just keep in mind, these formulas are extremely sensitive, and if you ever change something and you get an error, just hit that Command Z and figure out how to go about it without getting that error. But last but not least, our last two formula, guys, last five formulas, we shall see. Sorry, last three. Our average risk reward, our potential risk reward, and our withdrawals. So as far as our average risk reward, we're going to put equals average, parentheses, we're going to go to our journal, and we want to look at our risk reward. So we can select V2. I'm not going to drag this all the way out, but I will type it in, colon V1001. And boom, there it goes. It shows the average risk reward. Now, what is our potential risk reward? It's going to be the same exact thing, just instead of risk reward here, it'll be our potential risk reward. So our real risk reward, our average risk reward, is based off of our exit price. Our potential risk reward is based off of our take profit. So sometimes it can be the same, sometimes it may not be, but this way you have an idea of both. So instead of V, we're going to put U. So we'll just copy all of this, equals, paste it, and we will type in U, and boom, our potential risk reward, our average potential risk reward is 7. 1 to 7, 7 to 1, however you want to put it. Now, last but not least, our withdrawals. And this is going to be a simple sum formula. And we're going to sum, we're going to go to our journal, we're going to go to our withdrawals, which is T, T2, all the way through T1001. And so far it's 0. If we needed to format this, we could once again command 1, currency, $, and OK. Perfect. So here we go. We have all of the information we'd like to see. Now, this isn't done for our dashboard. Ultimately, in the next video, we're going to be breaking down how to turn all of this data into a multitude of different charts and data tables, and we will add some of those charts onto our dashboard. So I hope you guys gained some value. I hope you guys were able to build your journal along with me, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Talk to you guys soon.